Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, and I'm replacing. Well, there is a video that I recorded that was going to be going up tonight, but I've had some very interesting news today. That video will go up tomorrow. But the news today is that it's for people, especially who watched us streaming last night or yesterday, depending on what your time zone is. But we streamed our third go at the Blueprints, might have been our fourth, not sure. And it's a very interesting game with some intriguing dynamics and rooms that don't turn up every day that you go into the house. And we got really stuck in a boiler room where we needed to do something that would allow us to do something in a laboratory that was a couple of rooms away. And we just could not make the valves and pipework work. You can see our misery on the VOD from last night. It's on the channel under live, I think. Anyway, the interesting news is that when Simon turned on his PC this morning, he hadn't closed the day and he hadn't been locked out. He hadn't, the day in Blueprints terms had not finished. So he recorded himself having another go at this puzzle in the boiler room. And I don't know what happened, but he's putting it up as a video tomorrow. It's going to go up at 3 p.m. our time. Now, I believe that is 10 a.m. East Coast of America time, 2 p.m. Central European time, 3 p.m., 10 a.m. New York time, 7 a.m. in Los Angeles. You can probably figure out your own time zone, but it's going up on the channel as a premiere. Now, what a premiere is, if I've understood this right, and we've done it once before, and it was years ago, is a chance for people to join in and chat. Now, we can't react to that chat because it's Simon on his own. I'm not there with him. But I haven't seen the video, so I will be joining in the chat as well and watching the video live for the first time. I don't know how long it is. I don't know what he achieves, if anything. But I'm going to be tuning in at 3 p.m. tomorrow. So do join me. It's going to be very interesting. I think Simon can't attend himself, so he won't be chatting, but I will be. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what he did. Or in the rest of the day, maybe on Blueprints, and what, if anything, got achieved and what it means for the future. I just don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. But I did want to bring you that exciting news. There's a premiere tomorrow at 3 p.m. our time. Do join us for that, please. It's probably listed somewhere on the channel. Under lives or something, I don't know. Anyway, join us, and you can chat live with each other and with me about what Simon gets up to in that mysterious house. Now, there's other things going on. So obviously, in 2 days' time, we're going to launch the Yin Yang Hunt by Itrio, Yin Yang Journey. I think it's going to be really interesting, and I think you're going to like it a lot. So that is coming out in 2 days. That's on Patreon, where we put a lot of extra content, some crossword and connections videos as well, and loads of stuff. Do join us there sometimes if you can manage the $2 a month that it takes. It's less than a cup of coffee in a lot of places. Now there's also our apps, which are brilliant. For about $6, you could get our line Sudoku app, for instance, which features puzzles which have similarities to today's, and the latest is Fog of War. You could get our merch if you are going crazy, and there's SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD to support. The links are under the video, but the first link under the video today is to The Lattice by James Copp. If it is the first link, if I find a way to put a link to tomorrow's live stream, I'll do that. Not live stream, it's not a live stream, you numpty, it's a premiere. If I find a way to put a link to tomorrow's premiere, I'll do that. But I suspect there isn't a way to do that. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to go through the rules. James Copp, fabulous composer. Now, last time we did a puzzle by James Copp, I was expecting the normal medium level difficulty and I walked into a bear trap and was struggling for an hour. and more. We will see how it goes today. This puzzle is called the lattice, and normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3 by 3 box. Oh, the mouse pad in my location is really sticky. Is this going to work any better? Yeah, it might. It might. Okay, let's try that. So 1 to 9 in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. Digits along the grey lines must have values in between the values of the digits in the attached circles. Okay, I'm confused by this line apparently running through a circle. Digits on a grey line must have values in between the values of the digits in the attached circles. Oh, that's okay. I'm confused. I will be back with you in a second once I've established whether this is 2 lines, 2 digits in between those numbers, or whether this is 5 digits in between those numbers. I'm just going to see if that's made clear anywhere. Hang on. Right, what I've established is that these circles in row 1, column 4 and row 1, column 9 are genuine circles. This is how the software renders it. So these cells are in between those two, and these cells are in between those two. This is not a continuous line for the purposes of the puzzle. I will try and explain that in the rules that you see above my head and in the rules that appear in the description field so that it is clear, particularly for those 2 cells. Okay, so the rule about between lines is that digits along a grey line must have values in between the values of digits in the attached circles. So, for instance, this could be 1, this could be a 2-3 pair, and this could be 5, and that would be obeying the rules. And then this could be a 2-4 pair, and that could be 1 again, and that would be fine. So that's how it works with a between line. Along each red line, the sum of the digits on the red line is equal to the sum of the digits in the attached circles. These are kind of double arrows. So those 2 add up to the total of those 2, and they could be the same. Cells separated by a V sum to 5, and that's it. Those are the rules of the puzzle. And I'm intrigued. It's a very beautiful lattice shape, and we're going to try and solve it. Let's get cracking. I don't know how to begin this. Maybe with the V's. That V pair. Right, that you can never put a 1 on a between line. I'd forgotten that. So all of these cells can't contain a 1 or indeed a 9 because that can't get in between the numbers in the circles. So that V pair is a 2-3 pair. And one of these 2 circles is a 1. Okay, that was a good place to begin. I was more looking at these 2, but I don't know really what to do with them. So let's look at this line now. Every constituent of which, including the line and the circles, has to fall between 4 and 9. So the between bits must be between 5 and 8. And does that get us any further? Probably not. Oh, it's tricky for this to be where the... Oh no, actually... Right, one of these 2 is a 1 in a circle. But let's look at the red line rule now, because whichever one it is adds to that digit to make the total of the 2 cells between them on the line. So if that's a 1, these 2 are going to be at least 4 and 5, and that's going to be at least 8. And I don't know which of these circles is going to do that, but one of them is going to, and this digit is going to have to be 8 or 9. And that's going to lead to there being a pair of 4, 5 or 4, 6 on one of those red lines. That's weird. 4 falls onto one of them. Now, that means this is the high end, which is unsurprising given this is on a V. But that also means that this digit has to be lower than this digit. This is the low end of this between line. So this is either the 1 in a 1-4 pair or the 2 in a 2-3 pair. And this can be almost anything at this point. Now there's another V here, and it's a different flavor. Now, when I talk about the flavors of V's, what I mean is there is a 1-4 type of V in the puzzle and a 2-3 type of V. And I know that these two, let's color them green, those cells both see this digit, which is on this V, let's color it blue. And therefore they must be different flavors, because whatever digit is in these two cannot go there. Now, whatever digit is there cannot go in either of these two, so we're back to the green flavor for that one. There aren't enough V's in this puzzle for my liking, but there we go, we've started them. Now, the digits over here, right, this is the opposite case to the digits on this triangle. One of these is going to be at least 7. If that was 5, 6, that's how we could keep this down to 4, 7. And the one that is at least 7 is going to add to this digit on the V and be the same as either the total there or the total there. This is a lot less helpful than it was down here where we had 2, 3 on the oh, I've also just realized that I've made a mess here. Oh, bother. Right. I'm going to have to unwind that completely. I think I said a false thing, didn't I? If that was a 1, this doesn't have to be a 4, 5 pair. There could be a 1 on this red line. Oh, bother. Okay, all my conclusions are as dust. They have crumbled. It's like stumbling around in the boiler room not knowing what to do all over again. Okay, I can still colour my V's because that stuff was true. Let's have a green and a blue and a green. I mean, it's not as thrilling as it was. Does this have to be high? It has to be fairly high. Even if that is 1 and 4. And that's... Oh, no, my conclusion was fine. Was it? No, it wasn't fine. I've misstated why it wasn't fine, though. Brilliant. If that's a 1, this doesn't have to be 8 or 9, because there could be a 1 in one of these cells. That's the problem that I've got. In fact, that is quite plausible. If that was a 1 and this was a 5, that could be a 1-5 pair. And this could be a 9 and that could be a 6-8 pair, and it all hangs together horribly, horribly well. Okay. Maybe I should be thinking about row 6 instead. Now, row 6 is interesting looking because maybe, is there algebra we can do here? Gosh, I don't know. I don't know. Those two equal the same as those two. Those two equal the same as that 1. And those two equal the same as those two. Now, what is that telling us? Okay, I'll tell you something it is telling us. This is odd. Now, the reason I know that little nugget is because with these two adding up to these two, let's call the total of those two x. We've got x there. This is now 2x, which is an even number. We have another 2x over this side. And that means the total of all of this blue real estate is even. But the total of the row, which consists of the digits 1 to 9, is 45. There's a little secret that you need to know. And that means this is odd here. And it's not 1 because it's separately the total of those two cells. So this is 3, 5, 7 or 9. Now, if it was 3, the total of the rest of the row would be 42. That would mean that x on this side and y on this side would add to 21, so that could be X and that could be Y as well. 21 being half of 42. Now those 4 cells would add to 21. It doesn't feel like that's very, very useful. This did, I mean, obviously all these V digits are from 1, 2, 3, 4. That's blindingly obvious. Now, this can't be the high digit on its line up to here, because then if that was a high digit, those would be 3 and 2, and that would be 1, which breaks this lot. So this is the low digit. The digits in here can't both be from 1, 2, 3, 4, or that would be 5 of them in the same column. So one of them at least is a 5, and this is a 6 or more, and it's the high digit. Now, can that possibly be the low digit in this line? And I'm wondering if that could be 6 with a 7, 8 pair there and 9 here. With a 7, 8 pair there, this would be a 5, 6 pair. That would be 4. We'd have 9, 5, 6, 4. Yeah, I mean, that seems doable. Although this gets interesting. No, I don't know. I can't see how this is resolved yet. This could be James just foxing me, obviously. Oh, goodness. I don't know what to do here. This is high in this column. Do I ask where 9 goes in the column and wonder why it's either there or there? It can't be on a grey line. Oh no, it could of course be in this circle. That's not true, what I was just alleging. Oh, even in this row we've got even plus even, so that cell is odd, but that could be a 1 this time. Still, worth noting I think. Does this red rule doesn't really happen anywhere else, does it? Okay, let's have a look at this. The difference between those being part of a V sum is either 1 or 3. That must be the same as the difference between these two. Now, this cannot be 1, 2, 3 or 4. The reason being that it sees all of the blue 1, 2, 3, 4 cells and all of the green 1, 2, 3, 4 cells, either in its row or box. So this is at least 5. And now the minimum digit for this is a 6. And that's only a 6. If this was a 5, 1 pair, that's the minimum these two cells can be. And that couldn't happen. No, hang on, 6 there. Why did I say this 6 was a minimum digit? That's not right. But the minimum here is a 5 and 1 pair. What is the minimum digit in this cell? It's got to be something because, sorry, this is, what a fatuous thing to say. It's not 1, 2 or 3. This digit is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9. Let's not be afraid of a big old pencil mark. Now, the difference between those, this is the low end of this scale. Obviously, if that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the low end. So this has to be higher. So this can't be 1, or indeed 2, and this can't be 3 or 4. This is the low end at 1 or 2. Right. And now this is higher because of those two equaling those two. This is higher than this by 1 or 3, which is the potential V difference. This is higher than this by 1 or 3. So the absolute minimum now is 6 here. And how could that be 6? 6 is a very interesting minimum because, no, 6 is very interesting from the point of view of it's the only digit that could be low on this line. If 6 was low, that would be 7, 8, and that would be 9. On this line, we would have to have 6 being different from this by 1 or 3. And this would be lower. So 6, 5, and then a 1 difference here, 4 and 1. 6, 5, 4, 1. 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, that would really give us loads of stuff, because 9 and 1 there would make that into a 6, 4 pair, because they couldn't use 9, 8, 7. Oh, I really want this to be true, actually, although I think it's incredibly unlikely that this is the high digit on this line. Sorry, that this is the low digit on this line. It's much, well, yeah, it's much more likely that this is higher both than this digit, which we know to be the case, and then these digits. Although, is that more likely? Neither of these digits can be 4, I've just noticed, because this is a virtual 3-4 pair. Whichever one from 3-4 isn't there is on this V. This digit can't be 1, 2, or 3, or 4 for the reason just stated. So now we've got 4 of the 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 digits. And 4 can now only be in one of these circles, which I think is reasonably plausible, or here, where it would be lower on this line and lower on this line. These cells would all have to be from 5, 6, 7, 8. These would be from 1, 2, 3, 9. And 4 and 1 would have to equal 2 and 3. Oh, it does just live somehow. I'm getting very close to figuring out what's going, where to get going here. And I really haven't done it at all. There's a 1, 2 virtual pairing in column 4. Whichever one out of 1 or 2 isn't there is on this V. Here's a question I haven't thought of before. One of these green V cells is there. Where's the other one? Oh no, I was going to say it has to be in one of those, but it could be an orange cell. So that's not an interesting question at all. Right, let's keep thinking up here. 6 and 1 is impossible. If that was a 6, this is a minimum 5, 3, and that's a 2. That's how this would be a 6, is it? Am I missing the point here? Yeah, no, that is right. If that's a 6, this is a minimum 5, 3, and that's a 2. Now, what else happens if that's occurring? If this is a 6, that's 5, 3, and that's 2. Then we've got 1, 4, 7, 8, 9 in the rest of the column. The rest of the row is what I mean when I say column. Can we find 2 pairs to populate these cells out of 1, 4, 7, 8, 9 that are the same? That add up to the same total? 1 and 9, no. 1 and 8, no. 1 and 7, no. 1 and 4, no. 9 and 8, no. 9 and 7, no. 9 and 4, no. 8 and 4, 8 and 7, 7 and 4. No, there is no other pair. So that's really weird. Just because you can't fill this line, this does not go 6, 5, 3, 2. That was the only way this could be a 6. This is now not a 6. And therefore, it's the high end of this line. And this is the low digit. That's good. That's good to establish. I feel like I wanted to establish that. This is the low digit. The 9, the 9 on this column, I was going to say now is in this box. but it could actually be down here. So I haven't quite got that, but these are below that. And this is lower still. This is maximum 6. Well, it can't be 1, 2 or 3 in the column. So that is 4, 5 or 6. And these digits now fall between that being lower than that, given the pencil marking here. Is the pencil marking here right? How did I determine it? How did I determine it? Is it potentially wrong? No, well, I don't remember how I determined that this was 6, 7, 8 or 9, but I'm going to stick with it now, partly because this must be bigger than this. If this was smaller than that, oh yes, I remember how, because we had to have a digit that was at least 5 here in a column which had had 3 low digits. That's how. So that is 6, 7, 8 or 9. This is 4, 5 or 6. So we're ascending here as well. These digits are from 5, 6, 7 or 8. They come between a low digit there and a high one there. Now we've got a 5, 6, 7, 8 quad. And my first digit in this puzzle after 18 minutes is a 4 in the corner, which is rather unexpected, if I may say so. Now, these are 1, 2, 3, 9. But this pair have to add up to the same as this pair. 5 is a possibility if that's a 2, 3 pair. 6 is not a possibility out of these numbers. So that's the 5 is what's going on. 4, 2, 3, that's a 1. This is a 4. The difference between those is 3, and that has to be the difference between these cells with this one being higher. So this is not a 7, because we can't put 4 there. That is 9 or 8, and this is 6 or 5. 3 lower. These don't have a 4 on. The green pair are a 2, 3 pair now. Now, 4, 2, 3. We've got a 4 somewhere down here in box 7. For some reason, box 7 is the box whose number does not come to me. Okay, well, this can't be a 1. Let's do that, because 1 with 2 or 3 there is a total of 3 or 4 in this pair, and you wouldn't be allowed to use another 1. So that's not a 1. This is the 1 that is needed on this line, and this is not a 1. Now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 digits on the way up to this one. Okay, what can I do here? This pair, now I can say that this pair are at least 4, 5. They're either 4, 5 or 4, 6, and that's 8 or 9 to make the same total. And we need a 4 on them, and that's got to be here. So that's a 4. This is 5 or 6. Again, the difference between these two is the same 3 difference between those two. There is a remarkable similarity to what happened on this line, or what has happened so far on it. Now, that has to be the lower digit now on this line. So that's a 2 and that's a 3. And I now know that this cell is odd because that plus that equal that. In fact, this is now 1. It's not a 1 because there's a 1 in the box. 3, 5 or 7 there. This is 5, 7 or 9 here. Goodness me. It is beginning to come gradually now. Now this pair can't use 2, 3 or 4. If they didn't use a 1, they would have to be a 5, 6 pair with a 9 there. Well, where does 1 go in the box? It's absolutely blatant. It goes on there. I was going to say they couldn't be a 5, 6 pair because of that cell, but let's do it more simply. There's a 1 on there. Now the difference between the other digit here and that circle is 1. So the other digit is not a 5 because we'd have to put a 6 there, and 5, 6 there would break that. The digit here is not an 8 because we'd have to put a 9 here. I'm doing this the wrong way around, by the way. The digit is not a 6 here where we'd put a 5 there and that would break. It's not a 9 here, we'd put an 8 there and that would break. So the difference is not a 6 or a 9, the other digit. It's a 5, 7 or 8. And this is 1 fewer than 5, 1 less than 5, 7 or 8. Well, it can't be a 4 So 5 is ruled out. That is 7 or 8. And this is 6 or 7. And 7 must be used somewhere there, not here. I thought this was all going to tell me something. Well, 7 is used in one of those cells. That's quite interesting. 7 can't be in these two. And now this has to be 2 plus 3 equals 5. Excellent. Okay, well that's done. 2 plus 3 equals 5 and 7 is used now. The other thing I was going to do in this row is the algebra. 45 minus 5 is 40. That means that the n here and the n here add up to 20. And these two either add up to 8 or 9. So these two add up to 12 or 11. If they added up to 12, they would have to be 8, 4. If they added up to 11, they would be 4, 7, I think. Yeah. So there's a 1, 4, 7, 8 quad there. This is a 6, and the cell at the other end of the row is a 9. And 3 and 9 add up to 4 and 8. And hopefully that's worked over here. 1 and 7 add up to 6 and 2. Perfect. That 6 makes this a 5. Then we can add up this red line, and that's an 8. Now, these can't have 6 and 8 on. They're a 5, 7 pair. This digit must be known. It's a 9. 5 and 7 have come out of those cells. They're 6 and 8. They need a 9 at the end of the line. That puts an 8 down here, which makes this a 5. And now I'm sort of flying along. I am joking. I'm really not flying along. 6, 7, 8, 9 there. And these have to add up to 14. They must be 6 and 8. Just as they're in the circles on the line, they're also on the line bit. The other ones are 7 and 9. That 2, 3 pair, I never did the elimination, leaves a 1, 9 pair. And everything in columns 2 and 3, apart from the 4s and 5s, is reduced to 2 possibilities in each cell. Okay, that's cool enough. Now, these aren't very helpful. They can be any of the remaining 4, 5, 6, 7 in the column. Never mind. These, oh no, this is a red line, not a grey one. 4, 6, 8, 9. This is interesting. We've still got 1, 2, 3, 5, 7 to place in the row. So these ones must be in the middle of those. They must be from 2, 3 or 5. Yeah, no, let's do this row instead, which was really helpful at the beginning. So remaining digits in this row are, I'm just going to aid memoir them here, 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. Now we've got to find pairs that add up to the same. 2 and 7 equals 3 and 6. That would leave 9 here, which is fine. 2 and 6 can't be done. 2 and 3 can't be done. 2 and 9 can't even be done. So if there's a 2, it's in a 2, 7 pair. Now, the only other possibility is not using the 2, but that can't go there because it would be odd. So 2 is on the line, and there must be a 2, 7 pair and a 3, 6 pair on the line. And the remaining digit is a 9, which goes here. Now, that can't be 2 or 3 in the box by Sudoku. This must be 2 or 3 now, based on the red line maths. 4 and 8 have to fall into these cells. That's maybe not interesting. This is clearly higher than 2 or 3, because those have to be in between. So this is at least, I'm going to say 5. I'm not going to take any chances. But it can't be 6, 8 or 9, which all appear in the top row already. So that is 5 or 7. These digits are now from 3, 4, 5, 6. This one is lower. Is it? That has to be high, yes. This is lower than all 3 of these digits. It's either 1 or 2. I daren't quite rule on which one it can be. This can't be a 5, so one of these is a 5, and that means neither of these is a 5. I'm going to have to approach the lines in the bottom right soon. Now these, I was going to say they have to be higher. This is not a grey line. I keep being fooled by this line. This is a double arrow line. So this digit by Sudoku, 2, 6, 7 or 9, everything else is ruled out. If that was a 2, this would be a 1, 4 pair and that would break. So it's not a 2, which is unsurprising. If that's a 6, then that's a 7. And these add up to 9 without using 3, 6 or 7 or 8. They would be a 4, 5 pair. If that's a 6, this is a 4, 5 pair. Okay, that's possible. If this is a 7, these add up to 10 without using 3 or 8 or 6, which would go there. They would be 1, 9. That's really very different from 4, 5 as a combo. Oh, there is a 9. There is 9 by Sudoku. There is a 9 somewhere here. It's either in the circle. So that 3, 4, 5, 6 thing has been ruled out. This can't be a 6 anymore. This is 7 or 9. Now I'm going to have a look at the grey line quickly, because this is clearly the high end of the line now. And this is really interesting as, oh no, we don't go round the corner. This is the low end of both lines, both that one and that one. Now, where does 3 go in the bottom row? It doesn't go there because of this. So it goes in one of these cells. It's either there, forcing this to be 2, or it is here itself. And actually, this could be a 3. 3 and 3 is 6, and those two could add up to 6. So it's 2 or 3, and that's a pair in the column. And that means there's no 3 here. That's a 4, 6 pair. Now this has to be a 7 in the circle. And we've got 1, 5 and 8 to place. 1 can't go on a line, so it's there. This is a 5, 8 pair, and this is working. 9 is in one of those cells. 9 can't be on this line. Where's 9 in the bottom row? It can't be there. It must be in the circle. That was probably obvious a moment ago. Never mind. That is 2 or 3. These include something from 6, 7. Now, if that's a, oh, there's a 5 gone here. If that's a 3, this is a 2, 4 pair. And if it's a 2, this is a 1, 4 pair. And I don't know which it is, but I know it includes a 4, and 4s are X-wing. That all looks good. Now these digits fall between 1 and 7, and they don't include 3. Oh, these two add up to 12, and they don't use 9 or 8. They're a 5, 7 pair. That's quite easy to do. This becomes a 6. These can't have 6 anymore. This one is a naked single. Well, it's an 8 actually. It's a naked, it's a kind of, what is it called? A hidden single in the column. That's an 8. And these can't have 5 on. They are a 4, 2 pair, and this is 1. And this is a 4, 7 pair in the row. This is a 5, 6 pair, which means these can't have 6 on. Now, 6 plus 2 won't work here, so 6 plus 3 will, and that's a 2, 7 pair. And that 3 puts a 2 in this corner. Disappointment for REM fans there. We've got a 1, 4 pair there now. And these two are between, but all of the candidates in this row are. Oh, but 3 and 7 can't appear there, so that's a 6. This is a 3, 7 pair. It's a nice puzzle, this. 1, 4, 5, 8, 2, 3, 7. This is a 6, 9 pair. 9, 1, 2, 3, 8. We've got 4, 5, 6 and 7. That digit sees 6 and a 5, 7. So that's 4. This is 7. I've got 5, 6 on this line. Oh, I've still got a red line, an impossible red line to do here. 1 and 3 equals 4. So that's a 1, 3 pair. Takes 3 out of those cells, puts 9 and 8 in these other two, and now we've just got to unwind all the pairs that we've got left with. 7, 8 there, 1, 2 down here. Right, how do we unwind all of these pairs? We've kind of done all the digits in circles in grey lines. Yeah, I don't know. There must be a way. We have only got this 5-4 pair. In rows 2, 3, 7, oh, we've got that 3-4 pair. I was suddenly realising that we're going to have to find given digits in rows 2, 3, 7, 8, or in columns 2, 3, 7, 8. And they're all unhelpful apart from this 3-4 pair. So that's what's going to do it. 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that ran out in a hurry. But now we can take the 4, 1 into the vertical. 4, 8, 9, 8, 9, 6 down here, 6, 5, 5, 2, 2, 7, 7, 3 at the bottom, and 3, 1 at the top. And suddenly columns 7 and 8 are complete. And that 3, 1 is going to take us into rows 2 and 3, I believe. 3, 2, 2, 4, trace on through the 4, 6, 6, 5, 5, 7, 7, 8, 1, 9 there gets done. And that 1 and 9 go vertical. 1, 7, 7, 9. Oh, they've run out. But now the 2, 3 is doable. I've got... Oh, have I got deadly pattern left? No, I haven't, because that 7 has sorted out the horizontal here. That's beautiful. 5, 7, 5, 8, 6, 8, 6, 8 at the top. And there we go. Suddenly it all came together after 18 minutes. 18 minutes to place one digit and 15 minutes to place the other 80. I quite like those ratios. Anyway, that was great fun. Super puzzle from James Copp, as always. Even when it's hard, it's super. And good on you, James. That's excellent. Thank you for watching us. Do have a look at that premiere tomorrow at 3 p.m. our time. Find out what happened, as I will, in the boiler room. Or maybe somewhere else. I don't know what Simon gets up to. We'll see. But as it is, I'm going to say bye for now. Thanks for watching.